morning, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship on this wonderful May Day. I'm Larry Laverdure. It's Irish. He, him, also Irish. And I'll be your service associate today. I'm joined today by our interim minister, Barbara Queeman. And today's music is provided by our fellowship choir. Julie Morris on the piano, Debbie Larson, percussion, Rex Locker on the banjo, and Ted Kuriath. Nobody knows what he does. As we say the welcome words today, remember that welcoming, the essence of diversity, equity, and inclusion, is under attack by the current administration, as are our immigrant, BIPOC, LGBTQ plus friends and neighbors. When prompted, please join in saying, "We are welcome here." And this is how I'll prompt you. Got it? All right. I invite those on Zoom to shift into gallery mode and scroll through the screens so you can experience the beauty of this congregation, and type a welcome in the chat to all. If you're a newcomer, please let us know so we can greet you properly. We are all welcome here today because everyone belongs and is worthy of respect. We are all welcome here. In the beauty of all that nature has endowed in us, we are welcome here. Everyone belongs, whether we feel it or not. We're here to lift each other's spirits. We are welcome here. Not only are we welcome, but we extend welcome as well. We are welcome here. We pledge and promise to each other to seek first a humble understanding, to give and receive compassion, to deal in truth and kindness, and welcome each other into the joy of community. We are all welcome here. We commit to being a center for spiritual exploration, justice-making, anti-racism, and anti-oppression work within and beyond our congregation. If you are new here, we hope whether you're with us in person or virtually, you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. We have many opportunities during the week for social connection and spiritual growth. Those on Zoom can check out the links in the chat to help you get connected. Those in person can stop by the welcome table in our foyer for fellowship information and our newcomer form. It's also on the QR code in the back of some of the hymnals. If you would like to view a simple order of service for today's service on your phone, please scan the QR code on our screens now, or click on the link in the Zoom chat. Everyone on Zoom is welcome to stay for casual conversation following the service. If you are here in person today, you are welcome to coffee hour in Fellowship Hall. Take a very brief moment now to greet your neighbor.
Good morning to everyone. I'm Reverend Barbara, the grateful minister of this congregation. My pronouns are she and her. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we light our chalice, the collective symbol of our faith. Please join in the words as Larry lights the chalice. We light this chalice Spirit of life and love, in this time of uncertainty, of fear and angst, our nation holds its collective breath. In this time when rhetoric blusters about and words are used as weapons, our nation clenches its fists, tightens its shoulders, eyes squeezed shut. Some are preparing for a fight. But may we remember we are a people of resilience. We have faced uncertainty before. We have weathered storms. We have been consumed by flames. We have risen like the phoenix from the ashes, and we will again. May we recognize the spark of the divine inside each of us, even those we are not quite sure about, as we work to move forward together, seeking that which unites us. May love prevail. Come, my friends, let us worship together this morning and be glad.
Good morning again, everyone. We're going to be singing a lot of African American spirituals this morning, and I just wanted to say a few words about that and the thinking behind that. There are some differing viewpoints as to what is appropriate for a primarily white congregation like us. What is it appropriate for us to sing in our services? Specifically around spirituals, an art form and a music of the African American culture. So on one side is, it's fine, it's great music, you like it, do it. And I have to say that for many years, that's sort of where I was. I've always loved gospel music and spirituals, and choirs I've directed, we've just sung them because I like the rhythm and the harmony, and it feels good, and I like the way they make me feel. And then I was at a conference, a music conference, and there was a discussion about this. And African American, one of the panelists said, okay, but why? Why do you want to do it? And is the answer good enough? If the answer is just because you like the way they sound and you like the way they make you feel, that's maybe not sufficient. I had the opportunity to do a choir collaboration with the Denver Spirituals Project, which is a group of singers out of the Lamont School of Music led by Roger Holland, African-American gentleman. He's their choir director. He teaches in the music school and also the Department of Divinity there. And he offered a perspective that I found really helpful. He said, go ahead and sing them as long as you do the work first, which is understand where they came from, understand why they were sung, understand who sang them, understand who sings them still, and develop a particular, develop appreciation and gratitude that this music exists. And sing it and allow yourself to be open to the power of what this music can do. He said, if you do that, go ahead and sing these songs. You're welcome to them. And admittedly, there are also other points of view that say, no matter what you do, you shouldn't be singing these. Some African American folks. It's like there has been so much appropriation of black art and music and culture. This is one thing, hands off. Let us have this. So I'm just acknowledging that not everyone agrees with the decision that we've made today to sing these songs. And I know that Reverend Barbara in her reflection is going to take us through a wonderful journey of the history of these songs and how they were used. So the context will be given. So I feel comfortable singing these songs today. With that, there is more love somewhere, which is an African American spiritual. Let's rise in body or spirit, and with gratitude and humility, let's sing this song together.
As Tad has introduced you to this morning, we want to convey some of the experiences from a civil rights pilgrimage with the UU-affiliated Living Legacy Project, which I attended in late March. Larry, we're at the reflection time right now. Yeah, thank you. This pilgrimage teamed with insightful information and community-building music. We want to bring you a different sort of reflection at this spot in the service this morning by hearing from Reggie Harris, one of the two musicians on the pilgrimage. This video is his introduction of another Living Legacy online program, and it starts just after he sang Wade in the Water. You may hear a little bit of that. I trust that the power of music to deepen the experiences of the pilgrimage will become even more evident to you by the end of this service. Today's sermon being a combination of information delivery and community singing. So now let's hear from Reggie Harris.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We know that that particular song is a song that has been part of the movement toward justice and freedom since really the Underground Railroad and since the 1700s, people singing into the desire to find freedom and justice. And welcome tonight as we continue to celebrate the fact, yes, celebrate the fact that for all of that time, brave and courageous people of different races and colors and creeds and backgrounds have been seeking to make a difference. And tonight we're going to be having an amazing, amazing discussion, some information on how we can deal with this very challenging time in which we find ourselves. I'm really excited because this very week, at the end of the week, I'll be flying down to Savannah, Georgia for our very first pilgrimage in the Low Country in South Carolina and in Georgia. And we'll be singing some of those songs as well, songs that were birthed in that place in America where rice was being grown and where slavery had a very firm foothold in the 1600s. Folks keeping their history alive on Johns Island and in Charleston, South Carolina. Song, Sheep, Sheep, Don't You Know the Road? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. The songs galvanized communities as they sang, and they reminded themselves that even those who were in slavery could have power if they stayed in community. Sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. Sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, Lord, I know the road. I say, sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. Sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, Lord, I know the road. They sang to remind themselves to stay aware of opportunities to escape. And if they themselves could not escape, stay aware of opportunities where they could help somebody else. We're talking community here. Well, don't you know the road by the singing of the song? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. Don't you know the road by the singing of the song? Yes, Lord, I know the road. Well, don't you know the road by the praying of the prayer? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. Don't you know the road by the praying of the prayer? Yes, Lord, I know the road. I see sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. Sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, Lord, yes, my Lord. I see sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. Sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, Lord, I know the road. Well, oh, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, my Lord, I know that road. Oh, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, Lord, I know the road. Well, I say, sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, my Lord, I know the road. Sheep, sheep, don't you know the road? Yes, Lord, I know the road. Well, welcome again. I'm Reggie Harris, Musical Education Director for the Living Legacy Project.
Reggie! More about this pilgrimage in a few minutes. This morning we expressed joys and concerns through this community, in part with a slightly different worship habit. While folks online are invited, as usual, to type your joys and concerns into the chat to be read aloud in a few minutes. For the personal expressions among us in the room this morning, I offer joys and concerns recorded in a new caring book. As is the custom, Larry, as service associate, will deposit a stone for each expression of joy or concern. Okay. Then Larry will drop one more stone for the unspoken joys and concerns among us this morning. As we heard from Reggie, when we come together, praying of the prayer, we create community. May we come together then in a few moments of meditation and prayer, guided by this meditation. Gratitude is often a source of healing. We give thanks for the landscapes of grace in our lives, for music and good companions, for the guidance of great principles, and the examples of integrity around us. We give thanks for all that lifts us up and for lessons that lead us on. For the times when we have been brought low by anxiety or anniversary, show us the hidden wells of love that we can tap into. Great Spirit, help us rise once more and once again be sure to know that we are enough. Remind us all that we do not strive in vain. We are part of a chorus, a resilience that we hold in our bones, a trust that peace on earth will prevail, and that healing and grace come like soft rain. And we especially hold in our heart the concerns and the joys of our congregants, those unspoken as well as those spoken by Diane, Marco, Anne Marie, and Gwen. My friends, I invite you to perhaps continue your meditation as you wish, or as has become our tradition. Let us join together in singing our pastoral hymn, Spirit of Life. It's number 123 if you want to follow in the gray hymnal. Amen, and blessed be.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives and this community by giving half of our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate benefits the CU Center for African and African American Studies. Their acronym is CAAAS, which has three major program areas: research, visual and performing arts, and student services. CAAS enriches the academic landscape and fosters belonging on the Boulder campus by celebrating and showcasing the innovations and achievements of Africans, African Americans, and the African diaspora. CU Chancellor will be matching up to $1 million for every dollar of support raised through June 30th to help promote the center's continued growth and evolution as the first center of its kind at any public university in Colorado. Your donation today will be matched. You can text your donation at the number on the screen, or if you are at the fellowship today, place a donation in the offering plate as it passes. Please give generously as you so often do.
For the work and witness of this congregation and the Center for African and African American Studies, your contributions are gratefully received. So, my friends, you've already had an introduction to our sermon and our service focus this morning. In March, I participated in a civil rights pilgrimage in what is known as the Low Country of coastal Georgia and South Carolina. The pilgrimage was one of many civil rights events sponsored by the UU-affiliated Living Legacy Project, for which I used some of my ministerial study leave. My practice for study leave is to bring back to my congregation some of my learning from my project. And thus, this sermon today. Living Legacy organizers urged us to regard this event as a pilgrimage, not a tour. A visit to locations with the potential to expand our spiritual and religious perspectives. This survey of the history of civil rights in the Low Country offered me many new perspectives on the history of racism in this country. So much new information to feed my history-oriented brain as it is already. So many lessons learned from these stories about the 12.5 million enslaved persons over the past 400 years. So much inspiration as well to inform our present grapplings with systemic racism and manifold other modern enslavement in this country. I heard stories of the corrosive influence of racism on the human condition, as well as stories of resilience and hope from so many of our ancestors. The pilgrimage was transformative, and especially being on site added to the deepening. How often during the pilgrimage we were reminded about how the past inspires us to remember that we've been through turmoil before and we've survived. Lessons of resilience from the civil rights movement remind us today to be in this work of justice making for the long haul today by putting one foot in front of the other. On this pilgrimage, our pilgrim hearts were particularly fed by the presence of two UU musicians, Melanie DeMore and Reggie Harris. You just met Reggie a few minutes ago. You'll see Melanie on our closing hymn. Not only did they lead us in songs related to the context of the sites we visited, but they also expanded our learning about the importance of music and other art forms in the lives of the enslaved. Singing was one vehicle to give voice to humans who otherwise may have had no other individual identity. Thus, today, rather than a reading or two to complement the sermon as we usually do, let's include music. In the course of this sermon, I invite everyone led by the choir to join in singing several of the spirituals we experienced on the trip. So sit tight for cues and some starting pitches. A bit more context about the Low Country, which on our trip extended from Savannah, Georgia, up through Charleston, South Carolina, a geographic locus of oppressions and inhumane treatment based on skin color, especially acute in the mid-19th century. Pilgrimage organizers really had tough choices in deciding which of the many possible locations we would visit during the 5 days of the pilgrimage. The stories we heard included well-known activists, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, as well as many new names, Septima Clark, Dominique Vesey, Laura Town, equally significant in civil rights, but underplayed in modern histories. I chose the title of this sermon from a comment by a woman participating in the 1955 bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama. When offered a ride while boycotting bus transport, she declined, saying that she was content to walk because her feet were weary, but her soul was restored, hence the title, Restored by Civil Disobedience. Her response became one of the calling cards for mid-20th century civil rights work. So for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, I want to bring to this congregation a few brief snapshots of this Living Legacy pilgrimage to inspire each of you to explore more about these events yourself and other civil rights stories, to open you all the more to music's potential to enhance justice making, and to plant a seed or two. Maybe a few of you, maybe many of you would like to consider attending a future Living Legacy event. There's much information available on their website. I hope this service inspires you to commit to anti-racism, anti-oppression, and multiculturalism, the core of our current Unitarian Universalist values. We can keep the slide up or take it down, Deborah, whatever you need. Doesn't matter. Why don't you? It's good. It's good. Just remember that slide, folks. As we traveled from location to location, my historian mindset began to see patterns and themes among people who have both endured and fought against slavery. Resistance to fellow humans who are denied rights and privileges of freedom clearly is innate in the human condition. How we humans became and continue to be enslavers is one of the questions of life which both confound and invite me to search for more and more understanding. While I learned from the pilgrimage many new learnings, the greatest was this new belief in the power of resilience, resilience in the human condition, to get through life in the present, no matter the challenges, and to look toward a future filled with freedoms and joy. So recurring in the stories of resilience we heard was the importance of religious faith. Faith among both the enslaved and the civil rights workers. Faith in the presence of a power outside themselves to sustain joy and love, even in the worst possible conditions of deprivation. Commitments to civil rights among faith leaders may be illustrated most powerfully for Unitarian Universalists by the participation and, sadly, subsequent deaths of UU's Reverend James Reeb and lay leader Viola Liuzzo during Martin Luther King's 1965 voting rights program in Selma. I know many of you know about the Selma story. Throughout civil rights history, however, not just in 1965, church buildings and the institution of church have been especially central to Black communities of both enslaved and free persons. Churches have provided a system of safety and protection, a place to claim agency, to find meaning in this journey called life. On our pilgrimage, among the religious sites we visited were praise halls. Praise halls. They're very small, low to the ground, usually rectangular wooden structures, erected as early as the early 19th century. Praise halls were relatively safe places where slaves could meet and practice their religion. They were intentionally small to allay plantation owners' attempts to prevent large gatherings which could institute insurrections. So after the Civil War, newly freed slaves continued to worship in praise halls, and the praise halls then started to function both as interdenominational churches and as sites for community meetings and community gatherings. The early 20th century praise hall we visited is on St. John's Island, which is in the greater Charleston area. I trust that the importance of religious faith is also evident in the number of clergy in the mid-20th century who were involved in the civil rights movement. Just think on leaders such as Reverend Martin Luther King, Reverend Andrew Young, John Lewis, and Jesse Jackson. A more recent religious setting for civil rights and civil rights advocacy is Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston, the final stop on our pilgrimage. In 2015, Mother Emanuel was the site of an attack on Black worshipers. Perhaps even more significant, however, today, Mother Emanuel stands as a testament to human resilience, to not let their attackers keep them from their beloved building. Mother Emanuel Congregation is currently involved in a multi-year, multi-million-dollar renovation. So my friends, I ask, how does your religious faith inspire your commitment to anti-racism and resistance to other oppressions? I hope you claim Unitarian Universalist values as a source of strength and fortitude, just as thousands have done through history, believing in and inspired by faith to get them through troubled waters. So I'd like to continue explaining some of the stories of human resilience. I was moved by so many stories we heard about enslaved people through the decades, finding self-identity by preserving facets of their culture which defined them before enslavement. Perhaps the greatest learning for many of us on the pilgrimage was learning about the Gullah culture of the Sea Islands. The Gullah are a subgroup of African Americans transported to the south from areas of Africa such as Angola and Sierra Leone to work on rice and cotton plantations. The geographic isolation of those islands from the mainland was actually a boon to the Gullah in preserving the traditions of their original Creole culture. They were detached from the mainland. Gullah habits also endured because many of the enslaved on these islands lived in larger groups with fewer interactions with whites than did the slaves on the mainland. Most striking has been the efforts to celebrate and preserve Gullah dialect, which is a mixture of English vocabulary and grammar from various African languages. And no, I cannot offer an example. No. Our pilgrimage was blessed by presentations from several speakers who fluently moved between academic English and Gullah, demonstrating the current initiatives to preserve the dialect before it is forever lost. We were introduced to another particular Gullah project, an eye-opening example of resilience in finding original meaning of a fairly well-known song to probably most of us or all of us, the song Kumbaya. Several Gullah researchers have proudly unearthed the origins of this song. Perhaps you sang Kumbaya at summer camp or heard it during the folk era of the late 20th century. And perhaps you hold a certain stereotype about Kumbaya, perhaps as without much depth or a touchy-feely sort of message about can't we all just get along? There are many claims to where Kumbaya came from. Its broader history is yet another story of resilience, of transformation in meaning across the decades and going back to claiming its origins. Kumbaya is Gullah in origin. As the song spread from the islands around the country, its texts and its music and its meanings brought on new overlays of interpretation, and sadly losing some of the connections with its origins with enslaved people. So a little bit more of the history. The date of Kumbaya is unclear, the date of origin, but its importance is clear. In Gullah, the syllable ya means here. Along with many other spirituals singing, "Come by here," was an appeal from the enslaved for God to come to their aid, to save their souls, if not their physical bodies, from the horrors of slavery. Standing in those places of original meaning, our pilgrimage singing, "Come by here, my Lord," took on very different interpretations from those late evening campfires of my youth. Perhaps our singing now will have some new meaning for you as well. Perhaps the pilgrimage's most expanding information for me was learning about the many educational projects for free blacks started in the Low Country, begun even before the Civil War ended. Education mattered. Education equated with liberty. Preventing slaves from reading and writing kept them under control of owners and masters. For example, a 1740 law against teaching slaves to write. Another in 1834 against teaching them to read. Education brought self-identity and agency and resilience. So even though myself a historian of the mid-19th century, I did not know about these educational projects. I don't know how I missed this. While you may recall the date of emancipation as 1865, as early as 1862, many slaves found freedom after the Union Army captured the main South Carolina harbor of Port Royal. Fearing capture themselves, and doesn't this follow, at least 200 white plantation owners fled their properties to get out of the turmoil. Some were captured by the Union Army, but that left as many as 10,000 slaves to fend for themselves on the plantations. In freedom, former slaves quickly learned to work the land for their own sustenance. They abandoned rice and cotton. Instead, they grew potatoes and corn. Their resilience to live independently of white control was a remarkable story of human resilience and potential. Many liberal Northerners, white and black, including Unitarians and Quakers, quickly came south and established schools in what became known as the Port Royal experiment. Their mission was not religious conversion, just want to be clear, but moral and educational enlightenment. In 5 years, a reported total of 250,000 students enrolled. The early success of these schools demonstrated what post-Civil War Reconstruction could have accomplished had it been fully realized. Were it not for the ill effects in 1865, when President Andrew Johnson pardoned, notice the word pardoned, the white plantation owners and rescinded black access to the land. Forecasting, we still live in this vestige of pardoning those who were less than upfront and honest as the last 100 days, now we're at, 102 days demonstrates. We visited 2 schools, Dorchester Academy and Penn Center. A few details about Penn Center. It's located on St. Helens Island, established in 1862 to bring independence to Gullah people and preserve Gullah tradition. Many teachers coming from Philadelphia, they named the center after William Penn, the founder of Pennsylvania. Teachers included several entrepreneurial women, Laura Town and Ellen Murray, who were white, and free black Charlotte Fortin, who actually lived out their days on St. Helens. More well-known activist Harriet Tubman visited the school from time to time as well. Penn Center's isolation from population centers made it a relatively safe location for civil rights activists in the 50s and the 60s to meet and to strategize. For Martin Luther King, it was a safe haven to renew and recharge. He prepared for the 1963 March on Washington at Penn Center. Resilience was buoyed by song, especially the familiar "We Shall Overcome," a song composed around 1900 as "I'll Overcome Someday." In 1945, "We Shall Overcome" became a theme during a Charleston cigar factory strike. We also visited the cigar factory. The hymn, "We Shall Overcome," then became core to King's civil rights leadership, sung as late as his final speech in 1968. Imagine the power of this spiritual to inspire, especially as its simple melody is so adaptable to new words to express current hopes for resilience and repair.
We will join in love. We will join in love. We will join in love. We will join in love someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we will join in love someday.
The Living Legacy Project honors the spirit of Sankofa, often depicted as a bird with its head turned back, representing the reclaiming of the past to inform the future. Honoring Sankofa is an invitation for all of us to learn as much as we can about the past, especially the stories of hope and resilience. We need stories of hope. What with the current administration trying to eliminate any histories which do not demonstrate white supremacy paradigms of power. We need stories of hope to move into a future in which our values of anti-racism and anti-oppression will prevail. The stories of resilience across the 400-year history of slavery and racism in this country, which I experienced, have deepened my commitment to anti-racism work today and going forward. So as I said, our last stop on our Low Country pilgrimage was Mother Emanuel African American Episcopal Church, one of the oldest black churches in Charleston. Scene in 2015 of a horrific murder of 9, including the minister, during adult Bible study. I admit that I wondered about how I would react during this visit in light of having 2 friends who narrowly escaped the shooting at Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh in 2018. I was nervous. I admit I was nervous going in. But sitting in that holy space of Mother Emanuel's sanctuary, I felt overwhelmed, wondering about how and why. By the grace of God, this journey of life unfolds so differently for each of us humans. How this journey is influenced by the time and the location of our birth, the color of our skin, the dialect we speak, the education we achieve, perhaps even the chair we choose to sit in for adult education at our church. And then I realized I was sitting in the same sanctuary space in which Barack Obama delivered the eulogy for the slain minister, Reverend Clemente Pinckney. Maybe some of you recall. And I recalled the power in the moment when the president went off script and spontaneously broke into song. Perhaps many of you remember that. How his rendering of Amazing Grace had the profound capacity to enter, open, and comfort our souls, perhaps as it will now as we sing. My friends, may we all strive to learn and preserve the many histories which defines where each of us comes from, who we are now, and where we are going in the future. Even through these chaotic times of uncertainty, threats, and moral injury, may we each affirm a commitment to radical promotion of anti-racism, anti-oppression, and multiculturalism. May we never forget the potential for resilience through deep trust in this liberal faith which binds this beloved community. May we also never forget the joy, the love, the renewal through this gift of singing. May all this be so. And my friends, as we go out singing, let's put one foot in front of the other. Join together, please, in our final hymn. This is Melanie, by the way, our other song leader.
Here's my song, put one foot in front
Chad,
of
are
the
they
other.
standing?
And the verses are called.
Sure, why don't you stand?
And here's how it goes. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put
one foot in front of the other,
and lead with love. Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared, and I'm scared too. But here I am, right next to you. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. There you go. That's the song. I love it.
And we invite now Larry to put one foot in front of the other as we extinguish the chalice, inviting all of us to join in words to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this chalice. And friends, as we go out, I invite you, as you wish, to join hands, arms, or spirit with those near you and in the Zoom community and in the choir. For those of you who have come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those of you who have come here seeking life, may life return your affection. For those of you who have come here seeking a better way, may that way be found and the courage to take it step by step. When you leave here this morning, my friends, go in peace. When you return to this sacred space, return in love and in hope and in resilience. Amen, shalom, salam, namaste, blessed be.